that. You want that, you can't have it. Okay? This is one thing. Okay, so it works on the reality principle. Now, a theme that is run through psychology, and it's actually very, very prominent in the field of psychology, and here, when we get to it, when we get to the field of positive psychology, you will get my bias. And I'll tell you where it's at. Okay? But in positive psychology, it's the idea of if you show up, you get a blue ribbon. Here you are, have a blue ribbon. You get a little trophy. Yay. Freud would react, development of positive psychology is a direct reflection or reaction to Freudian psychology. Freud would say the ego works on the reality principle. You show up, sometimes you lose. You try, sometimes you don't get it. You want something, sometimes if you're in the South where my mama grew up, you get a wooden spoon taken to you. Works on the reality principle. It seeks to satisfy the id in ways that'll work. Tries to constantly interact between the id and the superego. Awful life. Freud felt that during personality development, you could, during the development, now what's the development? You're born as an id, you develop a superego, your ego develops as the superego and the id are conflicting with each other. During those developments, there is a variety, identification. There is a variety of stages you have to work your way through. And if you don't work your way through those stages, you can get stuck in the stage. You can develop a fixation. I thought I removed that. I guess I didn't. And you'll see those played out. I'll send out with the appropriate table when I look it up. I dropped it off the next slide and didn't go one slide back because we've got a new addition to the table. And these fixations are conflicts which your ego did not successfully navigate between the superego and the id. Okay, so some of its more famous ones are here that, you can have an attraction to the opposite sex parent, and if you don't work your way through that, how would you work your way through that? Okay, so the Freudian psychology, psychodynamic approach would say for me, as I develop along, I develop an attraction for my mother, the opposite sex parent. I obviously can't have my mother. That's what the id was. The superego is saying, ew. Right? So the ego is stuck trying to figure that out. So there can't be a situation where I have my mother, so I begin to identify with my father. Why? Because my father is in a relationship with my mother. If I become like my father, then in essence, I'm having that same type of relationship. Okay? So that's how he would explain how this happens. The ego is attempting to satisfy what the id wants in a way that is morally appropriate. If you don't successfully do that, you can get fixated on some things, okay? You can get fixated at particular stages, and those fixations then drive your decision making, okay? Drive your decision making. So if you don't successfully work your way through the anal stage, you can end up being either someone who's a miser because you're trying to hang on to everything, right? Or if you're overborn on that stage, then what you become is someone who's highly productive because you enjoy being productive. You're rewarded for it. Those are really nice pictures.